Hey, what's going on, Summoners? My name is Nathan Ng, and today I'll be walking you guys through this week's weekly news update. There's a lot of great things that have been recently announced, including some awesome new skins. Whether it's a follow-up to Riot's new show, item changes, crazy reworks, or even the smallest of changes overall, here at ProGuides, we've got you covered. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned until the end so you don't miss out on any important updates now and in the future. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and hop right in. It wouldn't be a weekly news update if we didn't start off with everybody's favorite section, the skins. Starting us off strong, we've got two new skins that will be based off of Riot's new Arcane TV show. These are going to be Arcane Jinx and Arcane CAITLYN, each of which will be available for purchase for $9.75 RP. However, if you complete the missions associated with each skin, you'll be getting both the champion and the skin for free instead. So keep your eyes peeled. Both of these Arcane skins feature all new models, textures, visual effects, and recall animations. They're honestly just nice upgrades to the base skins of each champion, so again, make sure you complete the mission once it's released. Oh yeah, there's also going to be a few new icons and emotes to celebrate these Arcane characters. As we get closer to the end of the season, don't forget to check us out at ProGuides.com, where you can view our great catalog of challenger coaches that personally can create a walkthrough to your dream rank. Got a busy schedule? Well, we've got you covered. Our trained roster of coaches are here 24/7 to help you guys reach your goal, whatever that may look like. So what are you waiting for? Go check us out and make sure you get that victorious Blitzcrank skin this season. Regardless, let's get back into the video and dive right into the rest of our PvE skins. Now that we covered our Arcane skins, we can now focus on the beautiful new Cafe Cutie skin line. This brand new theme will be featuring Annie, Bard, Gwen, Sivir, Soraka, and Vladimir. Vladimir? Each of these Cafe Cutie skins will be valued at $13.50 on release. Their sugary sweet theme is carried on through every aspect of their skins as they consistently show off all the new visual effects, sound effects, models, textures, and recall animations. If you're looking for a nice combination of a fantasy coffee shop with anime-like style, then this skin line is probably for you, but definitely not for me. Each of these new skins will also come with a special border if you decide to purchase the bundle. Per usual, you'll get 8 different chromas so you can go ahead and further customize your champion to your liking. And it doesn't stop there. There's going to be 6 new adorable icons that are purchasable from your shop. Similar to our Arcane skins, there will be a few new emotes you can go ahead and pick up so you can go ahead and taunt your enemy or communicate with your team in style. Now that we're done with those amazing skins, let's take a look at CAITLYN's art sustainability update. This update looks to upgrade CAITLYN's models, textures, visual effects, sound effects, and recall animations. Most of her skins have been updated to offer far more visual flair and clarity while attempting to keep her gameplay the same. It's honestly really crazy how much of a difference there is with the smoothness of her animations. I mean, she actually looks like she's shooting and aiming a sniper rifle rather than just blindly firing from one spot. The major changes are on the following skins: Base, Resistance, Sheriff, Safari, Arctic Warfare, and Officer. Not only do these have new models and animations, but they have beautiful new splash arts. Her Lunar Wraith, Headhunter, and Arcade skins didn't get any new splash arts, but their in-game models were updated a bit. Finally, we got her Battle Academia and Pulsefire skins, which got little to no changes. This is honestly quite saddening to see, but they're already good looking skins anyway. So, as you may have noticed that earlier we said attempting when we were mentioning her ASU and her gameplay. Make no mistake, the goal of art sustainability updates, per Riot's words, are not to affect gameplay. That being said, there's a massive outrage at the moment within CAITLYN mains and overall the League community. This is because during her ASU, many of CAITLYN's headshot animation cancels were completely removed by accident. And with this accident, Riot claims that they wanted to remove them anyway and have no intention of adding them back in. Regardless, they should have been more communicative about this. This has caused an uproar within the CAITLYN community since Riot stated that nothing about gameplay was to be changed. For context, Riot has already removed quite a few of CAITLYN's mechanics by performing a few bug fixes at the beginning of the season. And while it did hit hard, it still allowed for CAITLYN players to have a little bit of skill expression through other means. With this new change, however, CAITLYN is seemingly reduced to nothing but a long-range marksman whose sole purpose is just to right-click for damage. What is further angering the community is that Riot seems to be pretty set in stone about the change. Many argue that these mechanics were bugs and Riot was simply doing their job by removing the bugs in the game. Others argue that Riven also used to have the same bugs, but eventually, Riot reincorporated them into her kit and made her into the animation canceling machine that she is today. Regardless of where you stand, it's overall a massive issue that has great arguments on both sides. Now, as we dive into our ProGuides tradition, we actually want to loop back into this CAITLYN controversy. For our question of the day today, we want to ask our wonderful viewers, do you think Riot broke their word about ASUs not affecting the gameplay, or do you think that they were just doing their job as a game company? Remember, there's not necessarily a right or wrong answer, so let us know your answers in the comment section down below. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back into the video and check out some stuff going on in the world of Riot Games. As you all know, Riot has spent a ton of time and money advertising their newest show, Arcane. All of this hype has seemingly been successful as Arcane is well known at the moment for being absolutely amazing. While a few people dislike the show, the general consensus is that it's one of the best things to watch at the moment. That being said, the show has led to a massive surge of new League of Legends players. While many would consider this to be great since it would just grow the community, these newer players aren't having the greatest of times. I mean, come on, the League community is not the greatest. Aside from the community not necessarily welcoming them with open arms, these new players are faced with quite a few problems as soon as they load up their new game. One of the biggest issues they've seen so far is how awful the League tutorial is. Now, if you're a veteran League player, you just know how bad the tutorial was before, and this new one seems like a nice upgrade. That being said, it's still not a great tutorial because it doesn't provide any key information for the player as well as not preparing them for any real matches. It's understandable that the tutorial was never anything special, but with how much they invested into the Arcane marketing, it's really odd that they just didn't expect a surge of new players. Or if they did expect the new players, they simply didn't care enough to give them the proper training for the game. Sure, there are a lot of resources out there that, can teach you the game, kind of like ProGuides. So if there are any new players out there watching ProGuides, welcome to the horrible community. But the ProGuides community is really good. If you don't believe us, see it for yourself. In the description box, go ahead and click that Discord button and just join. We would love to have you. Anyway, many of these new players don't want to be excited about a game that they just watch a show about just to get absolutely dominated within their first few games, not to mention the Smurfs. Furthermore, many of these newbies are also bringing up the prominence of both Smurfs and bots within their games. It's as if they want to try to learn while being handicapped as much as possible. It's honestly great for the community to have an influx of new players as it allows the game to live on and ideally change for the better. But until there are changes in how new players are treated, the community doesn't think many of these players will be here to stay. If you somehow haven't heard who the winner of Worlds is by now, we have to advise you to skip this part of the video to avoid spoilers. That being said, go and watch the finals because they were just some of the best games that we've seen in all of League history. After some jaw-dropping matches and extremely close calls, Edward Gaming was able to claim the Summoners Cup as they solidified themselves in history as Worlds 2021 victors. Of course, as winners, they're not only gaining fame and money, but they also have the champion skins of their choosing. They will all be given their own team skins so that they may be remembered for the rest of the game's lifetime, which honestly I feel like is here to stay. Each of these players had a pretty decent pool of champions that they can go ahead and pick from, considering what they played at Worlds. That being said, a few of these players have already decided what champions they're going to be looking at for these new skins. Starting off in the top lane, Flander is looking to give either Graves or Jace a brand new EDG skin. When it comes to the jungle, JJ said that he hasn't decided yet, but he is looking at champions that represent him the best. Pulling us into the mid lane, Scout also doesn't have a specific champion in mind yet, but he's currently looking at the champions that he played during the finals, which means that they'll be between Ryze, LeBlanc, Twisted Fate, and Zoe. As we look towards the bot lane, Viper has stated that he's looking to grant Ezreal, Aphelios, or Lucian the new blessing of the EDG skin. And finally, we've got Mako, who is currently thinking about making the skin for Lulu, Yuumi, or Nami. Overall, each of these players have cool champions that would really fit the theme of EDG. It'll take quite a time for these skins to be created and released, but we're definitely excited to see how they'll turn out. Before we continue on to the end of the video, if you want to join an amazing community of people like you that just loves lists, talk pieces, and other things like this, go ahead and check out our Discord using the link found in the description. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and join. Nonetheless, let's get back into the video and take a look at our final few topics. Similar to this video, Season 11 is slowly coming to an end. This means that if you have not reached your ranked goals, be sure you put in the extra effort to grind before November 15th. That being said, there's a ton of changes for the preseason that we won't be able to cover in depth, but we do want to mention a few of the key points. It seems that First Strike, alongside with Lethal Tempo and Glacial Augment reworks, are here to stay as is. While they are still subject to change, be sure you get comfortable with how they function so that once the preseason goes live, you're not caught by surprise. There's also going to be quite a few recipe changes for a lot of items, but with how volatile these have been the past few weeks, they're not worth covering in detail. Before we close out the video, to make sure that you're all informed for your next solo queue match, let's quickly do a patch rundown. Starting us off strong, be sure that you're not mindlessly spamming Xayah or Vi. Yes, they were extremely powerful, but after the hotfix to both of them, their power since has been reduced. Although they're still fairly strong. Xayah has her Q's base damage reduced per level and has its cooldown increased at later ranks. As for Vi, her base armor and base AD were reduced per level and her ultimate has its stun duration reduced by 0.1 seconds. Honestly, had no idea that people were playing Vi. For any of you avid Kha'Zix players, keep in mind that the Q had its total damage and isolated damage reduced by quite a bit thanks to its lower AD scaling. Although, if you're a Arcane player, you'll be happy to know that Red Kayn had his Q and R buffed by increasing their maximum health damage. Alongside this, Gore Drinker had its Omnivamp and health increased, so be sure you keep an eye on it. Similar to Kayn, Riot feels that Riven was hit far too hard by the Gore Drinker nerfs, and so on top of the Gore Drinker buffs, Riven is having her W and E values increased early on in order to compensate. Last but certainly not least, one of the final big changes we have is to Yuumi. With her appearance in Worlds both driving up both her play rate and ban rate, Yuumi has finally found herself under Riot's radar, which is kind of crazy how long it took for them. Her E, Zoomies, is having its base healing reduced at later ranks, as well as the healing and movement speed getting their AP scalings reduced. This should hit Yuumi pretty hard overall, but with the right team composition, it may not feel as noticeable. And that sums up our video for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to join our ProGuides family at ProGuides.com. We offer exclusive giveaways and classes that you won't catch anywhere else, so go ahead and stay tuned and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys back in the next video, and don't forget, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day. Peace.